Good morning, gang. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome back to this week's Bitcoin update. First and foremost, nothing's financial advice. This is just for educational purposes only, and it's my view of the markets. Now I've got my ass covered. Right, let's jump in some Bitcoin charts, shall we? So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what I'm looking for next, but we're also going to go through some of the setups that we've had over the past week, because there's been some really good setups and I want you guys to learn from it. And judging by the comments on the last video, it sounds like you guys do like the trade recaps. So obviously if you appreciate this free content, do me a favor, guys, go down below, just hit that like button. Okay, it doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps spread a non-influencer into this space. Okay, we know we can't stand influencers on this page, let's be honest. Right, let's get into it. So first and foremost, let's talk about obviously last week on YouTube. Okay, if you guys missed the last week's video, go back and watch it and you can verify all this yourself. Okay, I always map out several plans. Okay, I don't just have one plan. So when you see me post a screenshot like this, that wasn't the only plan I had. Okay, because I'm not a LARP. I'm a trader. I cover all sides of the market. I cover if we pump up, I cover if we move down, because that's how a trader works. We react to the data that is given to us live in the time based on the most probable levels. Okay, so going back to last week, obviously you guys know we've been looking at this same range for God knows how long now. And last week, as we were recording the video, let's just do this volume profile. We're over here, we were up against value area high. Okay, one of the ideas, if we were going to do a fake out, well, quite simply, it had just been a fake out of this, which in the end it was. You probably can't see that on your screen unless we zoom right in. There you go. You can see little fake out of the level. There we go. Little swing failure pattern. Stops grabbed. And then obviously we've got the reversal. And where do we get the reversal to? Into the EQ. Again, keeping it really simple. Keeping it really simple. We were looking for a space between the point of control and the EQ. Look at that. We came into the EQ. So you get all these clowns on Twitter and YouTube, and they'll be doing thousands upon thousands of, you know, oh, look at my trend line. Oh, look at my trend line. Oh, yeah. La. And they'll do all this random shit. Okay, all this random shit based on pretty patterns that they've learned on babypips.com. They've never traded successfully a day in their life. Okay, you can keep it really simple. What's the most important areas on this chart? Range high, range low, value area high, value area low, EQ, point of control. Funnily enough, lines up pretty much together because also it's got a high volume node just underneath here. They are the most probable areas on the chart for trades. Okay, especially when you're looking at something that's been going on, a range that's been going on now for, how long have we been going on? 105 days. 105 days worth of sideways price action. Stick with your high time frame levels, okay? Unless you are experienced and you can zoom in, stick to your high time frame. Value area high, EQ. Range high, range low. Value area low. Simple, okay? So obviously that's what we were talking about last week. So hopefully none of you, especially you guys that have watched us for a long time, hopefully none of you long that. We don't do breakout trading. I've taught you so many times. Breakout trading, it's a fool's game. It's just really bad practice, okay? Someone show me some stats where they've got really good breakout stats, and I'll happily look through them, but I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be able to come back at me with that. Okay, so that's that. So this then follows into Friday, okay? So Friday, obviously in the Friday morning, I'm coming into the group, laying out my plans, okay? So we were looking for these highs to be run, okay? This was one trade idea. Once again, I'm not a LARP. If they sort of broken through this, backtested it and held it as support and continued moving up, we could have then looked at range highs, okay? But one of the options was if we do a swing failure pattern, okay? Swing failure pattern. And then that tied into my larger idea. If I can just hide that, please fuck off my screen. Thank you. Tied into my larger idea of looking at a potential flat style pattern. Once again, I'm not convinced because this ties into a couple of different Elliott Wave counts, but effectively what I was looking for is, okay, into this sort of region here. Okay, which again lines up target region around the EQ, around the point of control. It can even come lower, and I'm not going to rule that out because effectively, just to fill you guys in, I'm quite happy to see this come all the way down to here, because this for me is a key level down here, around this low. It's a key level. If it breaks that level and doesn't reverse from that level, then I am looking for a larger drop to the downside. Okay. But effectively, that talks through why we ended up getting that trade in the first place. Okay, now, I wasn't around at the time that it actually took the high, so I didn't short the absolute high. And again, you don't have to short the absolute high. What we had on the back of that, if we zoom into a lower term time frame, okay, we broke some structure. Look at that. We broke some structure. We came back up. Where did we come back up into? We came back up into the golden pocket region. And then from there, we had the rollover. We had the first rollover. Then we went sideways. Then we had the second rollover into that EQ as per those plans. Okay. Zoom out as per these plans. Okay. Did I know that was going to happen? No, I didn't. It was just a high probability idea. If I was wrong, I'd have taken a loss. I'd have lost 1R. If I was right, I made profits. In the end, I ended up being right. Made profits. 9R trade right there. Okay, so therefore, what does that mean? Well, if you risked $100, then you made $900. Quite simple. If you risked $1,000, you made $9,000. It's as simple as that. That's the whole premise of risk to reward. Okay, I've talked about this in more detail on some of my educational playlists. Find that on our channel. Now, next, that moves us in then to Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. Tuesday was a fun day. Okay, because Tuesday, we came down into that EQ. Now, Tuesday night was also live stream night for the members. Okay, where I talk through my swing trading plans. Now, at the time, just before the live stream was starting, I'm saying it's an interesting spot here now. Okay, for the running flat idea, macro range EQ, local channel. I'll be interested in longs if we break some market structure. If not, I'll keep waiting. Once again, I know what I want to see. And if I don't see it, I'm not interested in taking a long. Now, in the end, what happened? Okay, this was a screenshot from the live stream, by the way, so I can talk you through this. And effectively, this is what I was looking at. So again, it's the same target region that lines up with that idea that we had on Friday. But effectively, I was looking at a channel here. We had this channel here. Okay, we'd already come into that target region, which was the 1-to-1 and the EQ. So we'd already come into that. Okay, so the beauty of trading with channels, along with other forms of confluence, is channels don't just give you a price level, they also give you a time, which is really good. Okay, so therefore, if price comes into your level with not just the price, but it also lines up with the channel, which then gives you time as well. Look at this. 1-to-1, based on this high to this low to this high. 1-to-1 into the channel. It gives me some confidence in that. Now, did I take that long? Okay, bear in mind, I talked about it in the group. No, I didn't. And I'm going to talk about why I didn't take that long and why I don't really care that I didn't take that long. Okay, we had a slow bleed environment leading into this. Slow bleed environment. Okay, I was telling the guys in the group all day, don't long, don't long, don't long, because every time we did this, we had bearish CVD. What does that mean? Well, it means that every man and his dog was trying to long this, and they were trying to catch every single low and then just getting wrecked every single time. I was posting it on Twitter. I was posting it to other guys in the group. The slow bleed environment, you just want to wait. And what you want to see after a slow bleed environment like this is you want to see a big flush out of positions. Okay, now we did get a big flush. But in terms of order flow, it wasn't significant for me. And this is why I didn't take that initial long. I know some of the guys in the group took that initial long, but we didn't see a significant flush out. Bear in mind, this is that price action that I was talking about. Coming down like this, coming down slow bleed environment, loads of people aping in and open interest going through the roof. So people piling into positions, okay? Some shorts, some longs, people piling into positions. Now, when we finally took that low, we had a bit of a flush on open interest, but for me, that wasn't enough. I wanted more of a flush on open interest. I wanted to see more people get destroyed before aping into a position. If we'd have seen a big flush of open interest on this candle here, yes, I'd have likely bought in within that candle, or at least within the next candle. But because we didn't see that big flush, I wasn't convinced about that low. Again, so I'm talking to the guys on Live in the Time on the live stream. Where's my image? It's probably need to zoom out. There we go. Right. This is what I was talking about live in the time. So what I want to see is I want to see 30-minute market structure break, and then I want to see a pullback to a very specific region. So if we zoom into this now, I'm going to keep this on the screen so you guys can see this. I want you guys to learn from this. This is the only reason why I'm doing it. You know, I genuinely want to help you. Because there's not many people out there in this space that want to help you. They just want to take your money off you. So what I was looking for here is I was looking for this level here. This for me was the 30-minute market structure level. Okay. So if I draw a squiggle here, you can see this. Now, what you can see here is I was looking ideally for a structure break into that VWAP, which is also a high volume node, and then I wanted to see a pullback into the daily point of control. So it was the current day point of control at the time, which also lined up with the 382. This is what I was looking at. So if we just draw a volume profile on based on that day, so we can basically recreate what was going on. So from there to where this was happening, you can see here, okay? So what I want to see is I want to see market structure break above this level, and then I wanted to see a pullback, ideally, into that 382. 382 lines up with the point of control. This was the squiggle. This was the squiggle. Coming into that. That's what I was looking for, which is where that volume is. Then I was looking, if we were going to see a move off that, that's be the region for longs. Now, next part is, did I take that long? No, I didn't. And the reason why I didn't take that long is because that happened at 2 a.m. my time, in the middle of the night. I'm fast asleep. I don't care. I'm not coming to the charts in the middle of the night to take a chuffing trade. What's the point? I'm not a LARP. I don't need to get bragging rights on it. I don't care. There you go. I talked about where it was going. Any of the guys that trade the other time frames in the group would have caught this long based on their own TA, not just my TA. And there you go. You got a nice big pump to the upside. So obviously, if you did catch that one on the back of it, you had a nice trade. Stops at the low. Came up into the next major sticky zone. And again, I'll talk about this sticky zone in a second. So again, you had a nice trade out of that. If you caught it, you had a nice trade. You know, this is what happens when you've been trading for a long time and you've studied and you understand it all. You see things like this quite easily. A lot of people call it like trader's intuition, but it's only because I've been at the charts for fucking years now. Okay, and I've studied and I've studied. I've admitted this so many times. I've done so many courses. A lot of them, the majority of them are bullshit, but there's some good courses out there, which is why my trading plans come from where they do. Okay. I've taken all the best bits from all the different courses that I've ever studied throughout my entire life, and the books that I've read and the YouTube videos that I've watched, and I've put it into a system that works for me. Okay, and this is obviously now what I teach. Now, this then leads us on to Wednesday. So, Wednesday, FOMC day. Everyone loves FOMC day. For me, I don't really care. I'm not really bothered about news events, okay? People will sit back out of news events because they get scared, because it's choppy and it's fast. All it is volatile, okay? It makes no difference to me. It's just another trading day. Okay. And funnily enough, yesterday, trading day, we had my favourite setup. If you guys have been around me for any amount of time, you know I love a double distribution day. It's my favourite setup. My favourite setup in the whole entire world. You idiots, your influencers will call this a Bart Simpson. It's from TPO theory. I've said that a million times. It's called a double distribution day. Okay. And this is what we're looking at in the morning. Okay. So the area of interest I was already planned out because I had high confluence at this area of interest, which is this area here. And then the icing on the cake, and I did not know this part was going to happen. I did not know this, but the icing on the cake was when we came up into my area of interest, creating a double distribution day, that gives me a really high probability setup that I am going to take if given a setup. If I'm not given a setup, I don't care. I'll let it go without me. But if I'm given a setup, I'm going to take that trade. Okay, so just to talk through this trade so you guys can see and learn from it. Quite simply, fib from the high. Again, this was last Friday's high. To the lows. Obviously, the lows, the macro EQ. The golden pocket region. Now, on top of that, we also had weekly open. If I can find which one's the weekly open. There we go, weekly open. And then on top of that, we also had, if you just throw on, again, you can visualize this in any way you want, but quite simply, we had a load of volume here. Obviously, this was the weekend range. Okay, we went sideways all weekend. So you've got 2 days worth of clustered volume, okay, which creates a sticky zone. Naturally going to create a sticky zone. So you've got a sticky zone with a golden pocket, with a weekly open. There was also a SR level within here as well, if memory serves. Okay, and then what happened? Okay, we zoom in to the 5-minute chart. What happened? We came up into this, we fucked around up here, then we started to break some structure, coming down, creating lows, lower lows. Then we came back up. What did we come back up into? Well, quite simply, once again, we came back up into the golden pocket region once again. Okay, the golden pocket region, by the way, is between the 618 and the 786. This whole pocket here is effectively the sweet spot for me. And then what did we do? Well, we had a sell-off. And then we played out the double distribution day in full back into daily open. From daily open, we then get a bounce. There's textbook double distribution day. First drop into the VWAP, came back up, lost the VWAP, came back down into daily open, fulfilled the double distribution day. Where did we get a bounce to? Back into VWAP. And then obviously we've opened up today and we've run those lows. And now we're still finding resistance locally around that VWAP. Okay. So once again, another very simple trade. Very simple trade. 4R, call it 5R for easy numbers. If you risked $100, you got $500 out of that. Just taking high probability setups. High probability setups. This is the sort of stuff that I do. This is the sort of stuff that I teach. Okay? I'm not just teaching you theory. I'm teaching you what works with statistics. Okay? But only if you're ready to learn. If you're not ready to learn, and you still like gambling on your shitcoins because your favourite influencer tells you that that shitcoin's going to 1000x, then fair enough. But eventually, when you finally admit defeat on that because it won't work, then come check out the course that we offer. Or just come into our free Discord and learn from us. Right. Moving forward now. What am I looking for next? Hopefully you've learned something. Please, 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 if you have, hit that like button. Okay, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Now, what am I looking for next? Bring this on. Bring the same volume profile. It's the same levels. It's the same levels. Okay? As it stands right now, we are holding the EQ. Does that mean it's going to hold? No. Could? Yes. It doesn't have to. So if we do come back down lower, okay, I've already said this. I alluded to this earlier. I kind of give you guys some inside information from what I was telling the members. Okay? We do come down. This region here, between this low and value area low, is kind of key for me. Because if we don't hold value / swing failure pattern of this low, then we're looking for a larger drop. Okay, so this is the first idea. And now if it does come down lower than this and we start losing value, then we're going to come back into this cluster. Now I know all the ICT boys and everyone are going to absolutely love this cluster because it lines up with some stuff for them, and that's absolutely fine, and it likely does give us something. It likely does give us something. If it does, great, cool. You've got an area down here. Okay, if you want to find a little bit more confluence on that, you do a fib from the low to the high. And look at that, you got your golden pocket within there. Okay, so if that holds, great, cool. You got a region there. Now, if that fails, that region, then quite simply, I'm looking back down to the range low. Okay, the range low, again, give it a bit of a wide berth. Give it a wide berth. Not everything's a perfect level in this game. I know some people like to pretend that it's perfect levels. Not everything's a perfect level. Sometimes it's a region. Okay, and it's what happens within said region, whether it gives you a setup or not. Does it look strong in said region? Yes, great, cool, long trigger. Does it look weak in that region? Okay, cool, no problem, no long trigger. I'll just sit and wait. I'm not going to short down here. Why would you short at range low? You're a fool. Just like people that shorted here, just like people that shorted here. You don't short at range low. You short at the highs. You're long at the lows. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. If this fails down at range low, then once again, I've talked about this God knows how many times now. I sound like a stuck record. But for peace of mind, you got a zone here, high volume node. You got a zone here, around 51, 52, down to 50k-ish. Okay, you got a range. Does it come back into that and give you something to work with? Great, cool. There's a long trigger. If not, does it come down lower? If it comes down lower, pretty fucking obvious. You're coming into that consolidation there, with the point of control being around 43k. Okay, hold this region, then we can look for longs. Don't hold this region, then we'll look for lower prices. Excuse me. Keep it really simple, really simple. What happens if we pop up? Okay, we've not talked about upside. We pop up and we hold this. Either A, we come down lower and then pop up, or we pop up from where we are. Once again, value area high, coming in around 71, call it to 72, because obviously we need to incorporate these highs now. So you've got a range there. Bit of a zone. If you break through that, then we can talk about new all-time highs at range high. So at range high, ideally what you don't want to see is you don't just want to see a perfect test of that range high and then roll over. Ideally what you'd want to see, if it is going to roll over, you want to see it take the highs, take those stops, and then have a pullback. Okay? And if it doesn't do that, and it just gets outside, let it go up. Told you once, I've told you a million times, there is a zone Okay, there's still a zone up here I am very much aware of, and you guys need to be aware of this. Even if you do break the top of these highs, this isn't a ticket to say it's only going to go up. It could do, yeah, it could do, but we've still got a sticky zone around that 77k region. Be aware of that. Be aware of that. So if it does break out of here, that's not a breakout trade I'm going to be taking. Okay, it's just not how I trade. Breakout trading, like I said, doesn't have a high hit rate. Okay, so that's all the levels that you need to be aware of. It's all the levels. So we'll wrap that up. Obviously, if you guys do want to learn, then go over to our website. Link is down in the description. And once you are in our content and you have access to it, then obviously you get daily trading plans every single day of the week. You get our high time frame swing trading plans. You can also access all of our trading plan archive, by the way, every single day that we've ever done one. So you can verify everything that I ever say. I don't hide anything on this. And then you've got everything from absolute beginners, Fibonacci, strategy building, trading psychology, Elliott Wave, strategies. You just got everything. How to trade Forex. There's so much information in this, you know. And you get all that for the grand old price of $100, 79 quid. So yeah, but only if you're ready to learn. If you're not ready to learn, don't bother, because you'll just waste your time because you won't bother studying the content. Okay, right, we'll wrap this up. Catch you all soon, gang. As you were, bye-bye.